Warning: The Lobo Show contains adult content, crude humor that may go against your religion, ethics, and morals. A perspective point of view you may never find your own. Viewer discretion is advised.
Just around the corner that is high. Down the street that losers use. If you can wade in through the teardrops, you find me at the home of the blues. I walk and I cry while my heart beats, keeps time with the track of my shoes. The sun never shines through this window of mine. It's dark at the home of the blues. Oh, but the place is filled with the sweetest memories. Memories so sweet I wanna cry. Dreams that I've had left me feeling so bad. I just wanna give up, lay down and die. So if you just lost your sweetheart and it seems there's no good way to choose, come along with me, misery lovers company. You're welcome at the home of the blues. You're welcome at the home of the blues.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, hopefully, to your weekly topical podcast, the debacle, the deplorable show, the black eye of radio. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is the Lobo Show. We appreciate everyone being here. I am your host. I am Lobo. And with me, as always, my producer, Heapsack. And I just want to say one thing right now. Obviously, this you might notice something new here when it comes down to the introduction of the Lobo Show. And I just want to say one thing to one person. Thank you very much to this person who we have to link up the video, Sarah Olsen. That's SARAOLSEN, Sarah Olsen on YouTube. And I want to say a couple of things here, right? Inspiring musician. You know, some people like, I'm an inspiring musician. No, this person is a musician. You should listen to her. I asked her for a request. Her video is just not just music. It's so many different things. It's really awesome. It's really great. Anybody, you know me, like I said, when it comes down to shout outs, and I that's all good. I respect that, but if anybody, be kind and check out our material. Not just be kind and say, hey, listen, I came here for Lobo's show and he showed me something, whatever. That's cool. But, listen to it. Check out what she does. And if you like the content, great. If not, just part. There's no need for hateful, words or anything like that. But I think that's very cool because I've always dug her music. And I've always dug the way her style of music, because she does a lot of cover songs in a way. She does some original music, but she does cover songs as well. And I like her style of it, man. She, I know I don't want to make her blush, man, but it reminds me of some type of like Amy Winehouse, like meets Nora Jones type of situation. And I've always told her, I was like, what'd be fascinating? Your type of style. And this is me before. I said, as a fan, I didn't even comment, just watching. I'm just a dork like everybody else, right? And you go, hey, what would be cool if you, and remember this the whole time, I don't know if she listened before, but Zach, remember we were looking for a new theme song because we got effed over for the other one that we did, blah, blah, blah. And we put a challenge out there, and there's many musicians out there, has channels who has like music channels. And we said, hey, if there's anybody out there who can try to think of a theme song, think of anybody, some original, send it to us. We'll play it. And we'll give you all the credit for it. Absolutely. Which is not about that. It's not about, hey, it's just about publicity. It's not that. But I don't know why. One day I was fucking getting hammered, man, and I'm watching the video. And this is not, I know it's YouTube now. It's like, was that weird? No, it's not. It's TV now. It's television now. Instead of flipping the channel with your remote control, you're checking out people on YouTube. And it was even better about that. You feel like you're more connected with these people. Like, oh, I know him. He knows me. I know her. She knows me, right? So it's that kind of situation. Just like I flip to everybody's channel, now and then. But, dude, I flipped to her channel. I liked her content. Obviously, she's a pretty girl. Obviously, I'm going to pay more attention. But she's more than that. She's very talented. And I always wonders like, man, I love Johnny Cash. Anybody knows Johnny Cash? I was like, man, I love Nora Jones as well. I always thought the rendition and the way she sung "Home of the Blues" was great, and she reminded me of Nora Jones. So I was like, hey, I sent her a request, like, hey, can you try to cover that? And I think it was in my own way. I was like, for my own, like, I just wanted to hear that sounds. And then not only did she cover it though, but this was great about it though, Heapsack. Um, she, I was like, all right, so I kind of was expecting like some type of Nora Jones like when she sent it back. But I'm not gonna lie, this is what I like about Sarah Olsen, and like I said, I'm not trying to make her blush, but I'm truly speaking from my heart. She did it her own way. She did it the Sarah Olsen way. I like that, and I like it even better now, to be quite frank. And it's like, people might say like, hey, it's kind of like slow pace in terms of like Lobo. What Lobo is, Lobo's rah rah rah. I come in there, I talk shit. That's what I do. I fucking curse and I speak my mind, for the good or for the bad. But I like that. I love the lyrics to that, man. Johnny Cash, Sarah Olsen, me and Heapsack, and everybody in the back, Richard Head, Hawk and Jody. We thank you very much for that. That being said, let's move on, ladies and gentlemen. It's the weekly topical podcast. It is a debacle. It is a disaster. It's the black ice, the scar. We're all that shit rolled up in one. We're losing fucking fans, or excuse me, the audience every week. People are not liking the content. They're not liking the realness. They're not liking too many things that we're saying over here, So I'm going to just, keep doing that. I'm going to keep saying what I got to say. To be honest, everything that comes straight from my heart, lack of prep of Lobo show. I think we just get in the mic, we turn it on, we say what we got to say. I want to talk about gambling, to be honest. The Lobo show. So I want to talk about what I want to talk about. And I want to talk about gambling right now. And man, dude, I work, I work over here in the city in New York, bust my ass, salesman, and I got friends, that are like, I got a friend, let's put it like this, who's like sending me pictures all the time now. He quit his job. He was working, a nowhere end, dead end 9-to-5 job. Now the guy's like gambling for a living. The guy just found his niche, playing blackjack, playing the tables, I don't want to get too into his business, say where, but yeah, the guy's doing this thing, right? The guy's like every day he's showing me pictures. The guy makes his own schedules and he's showing me pictures of all this fucking cash in his hand. And he's saying, look, man, to be honest, sometimes you got to just grab a steak, grab your balls, you know what I mean, and make a living. I'm starting to lean towards that way because, like, dude, I see all these guys that are making money off of gambling in the casino, right? And it's like sometimes, this casino thing is not just for, hey, let's just have fun and, roll up the crab tables a couple of times, go to roulette and call it a night and go back to work. Maybe we should let these things work for us. There's money out there. There's all this money. And don't get me wrong, and this is technically quote unquote legal money. Now, obviously, if you make a lot more than that, there's some tax issues in there, but there's always loopholes to that. Trust me, I know. Create your own LLC, create your own corporation. Hey, I'm just saying, you can write off anything. Trust me, man, including dinner. So, but in terms of this gambling thing, it's been going on for a long time. And it seems like this is one of the few freedoms that we have in this day and age. In terms of anybody in the world. I mean, there's practically a casino. Even in Dubai, like I said, there's casinos in Muslim land and Christian land and everywhere you can go, right? Any place you can think of. There's a casino that you can go to and play, and you can make a fortune in one night. And I think that's a great concept. I think that's one of the few things that we truly have. Like, that's a freedom thing. And any day that if you can have $200, I'm just saying though, you go to a casino, who the fuck knows? You can make yourself a fortune, or you can leave yourself with less money that you came in. Sack, you are the fucking the guy. You're the fucking wizard over here. You got the history of everything. What do you got on this whole the whole gambling thing?
Well, forms of gambling have always existed, one way or another. By the early 20th century, gambling was completely outlawed throughout the United States, and it became one of the ways to help the growth of the mafia and organized crime. During the Prohibition era, illegal liquor provided an additional revenue stream for mob figures and organized crime units. Towns which already had lax attitudes about vice, such as Miami and Hot Springs, became major gambling centers, stimulating tourist industry in those places. Nevada, which led to the legalization of gambling as a way to bring economic relief. In 1931, Nevada legalized most forms of gambling when Assembly Bill 98 was signed into law, providing a source of revenue for the state. Interest and development in the state was slow at first, as the state itself had a limited population. After World War II, enforcement of gambling laws became more strict in most places. It attracted target for investment by crime figures such as the New York's Bugsy Siegel. The town rapidly developed during the 1950s, dooming some illegal gambling empires. Southern Maryland became popular for its slot machines, which operated legally between 1949 and 1968. In 1977, New Jersey legalized gambling in Atlantic City. The city rapidly grew into a significant tourist destination.
Yeah. You know what though? Exactly. It started with it started with the bootlegging when it comes down to it. It's like, America was a little way behind than everywhere than everybody else, obviously. Even the idea of like outlawing alcohol was laughable when it comes down to like Mexico, Canada, and even like Europe at the time. So in a way, they kind of shot themselves in the foot with that whole thing because they created criminals, created like criminals who created empires, and with the whole thing with alcohol, when they illegalized alcohol when it was illegal and shit, and it was during the prohibition, that's truly gave the height of gambling. And gambling, like I said, like you said, man, Atlantic City and shit, absolutely. And Vegas, man, was literally owned by straight up mafia, man, straight up mafia. It was mafia
Oh
owned,
yeah.
and they like they concocted the whole scheme of the casinos, which was the most brilliant thing in the world. Like I said, it's something that we're still going by, but apparently it got out of hand. Like I said, I know I'm cutting this too short. I don't want to get too historian on you, and if you want me to, let me know in the comment sections, dude, because we can go on and on about this bullshit about the fucking Banana family and dude, Giancana and shit, man. Frank Giancana, who had, everything to do with killing Kennedy, to be quite frank, and a lot of mafia figures during that time who had all their hands in Las Vegas. Absolutely. Bugsy Siegel, you mentioned, the flamingo and shit, was kind of like the fucking pioneer of the whole fucking thing when it comes to organized crime and the casinos. Like literally, where organized guys, the organized crimes wasn't just nickel and diamond; they were completely making millions of dollars. When millions of dollars was unheard of, was absolutely unheard of, man. But the whole thing died, and that's the last time a bunch of wise guys were ever handed something that's so great. Like Joe Pesci said at the end, we fucked it all up. In that movie Casino. I'm telling you, at the end, they fucked it all up. But now it's all about like apparently Native Americans. Now, here's the thing: most people don't know that probably are not from America. Native Americans, which are considered Indians. I don't know if that's the right word to say to call them, but Indian people, not Indian people from India, but like Native Americans people, like Indian, right? Like Cherokee tribe or different type of tribes of Indians, right? Now they own all the casinos. They own the casinos in Las Vegas, everywhere you name it. They own all the casinos, right? It's like that was almost like their reparations. Like, hey, listen, we're sorry for doing this. Now you can own all the casinos. You guys operate it, and you do what you want with the money. Like, what's the story with that? How the fuck did that happen, Zach?
Well, that began in the late 70s, 1979 to be exact. It was the first reservation based commercial gambling. And that began a trend that would follow by other reservations, in places such as that. And yeah, it's crazy because it started other types like lotteries and bettings, legalizing it in other areas in the country. And, there's so many now everywhere you go, like here's a quick shout out, Soaring Eagles. That's one I visited, and it was great. Yeah, it was Native American owned. Yeah, they really do a good job.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, hey, don't get me wrong, these casinos they fucking nail it, but it's not like now. I feel like the casinos. Don't get me wrong. I'm gonna say something that's just my opinion. I'm not gonna say something that's like I think that's absolute truth. I don't say this, but I think that we're living in this new era now, man. I'm telling you, everything is absolutely unexpected. You don't know what the fuck is gonna be happening tomorrow. We don't know. But I say one thing now that you see, especially in New York, this internet gambling all this internet gambling is coming out now, right? And it's like, oh, it's like legal here, it's legal there. You know, the Senate passed it here in the United States and shit. And obviously, like places like England, they were always doing that's a big thing. I know, like, I got friends in England that are completely making a lot of money when it comes down to the internet gambling. Like I said, I got friends that are making it on the tables. I know people that are making it online. So, like, I think that with this internet gambling thing, is kind of, I'm not saying they're going to put the casinos out of business. Trust me, the casinos will never go out of business, right? But there are casinos that do go out of business, but you know what I mean, though. Like, you're not going to see Caesar's Palace, you know what I mean, filing for bankruptcy. I don't think so ever. I don't think so. But this internet gambling is going to put a hole in their fucking business because people rather gamble at the leisure of their own home as opposed to the experience. Now, I know there's a lot of people, trust me, there's people like that who do the show. I love it. They got the channels when they're doing the slot thing, they're doing the lottery thing. I love it. And gambling, the whole gambling aspect is always exciting. But I'm just trying to say, internet gambling, man, it's something of the future. And I'm not saying, and trust me, listen. When I know it's been there for a long time. Like, what do you mean the future, dude? What the fuck? I've been playing poker, blah blah blah, XYZ for this amount of years. I get that, pal. But look, man, and there's certain places that's in the United States that you can't do it. Certain states, and New York was definitely one of them. You have to fucking practically travel 2.5 hours, Philadelphia, Connecticut, or Atlantic City. Then you can truly play a card table. Other than that, I guess online is the way to go. Personally, I'm not an online guy, Sag, because I rather play. You know, I rather like to look a guy face to face. If I'm gonna lose like $2,000 and shit on the hand, as opposed to some fucking bullshit as online shit where you don't know who the fuck you're playing. You know what I mean, Sack? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean the evolution of gambling is so interesting to me because if you really think about it, it was in the 1990s that the riverboat casinos were legalized in states like
Really?
Louisiana and Illinois. Yeah, and then in the mid 90s, 1996 to be exact, Michigan legalized gambling in the city of Detroit because Detroit needed it. But it's like these things right here, like they can really help bring new money in, and they do work. I mean, gambling is, like I said, it's always been around, it's always going to be there. And you mentioned the internet, like the internet, that's man, that's such a breakthrough because yeah, it is now. Like that's what it is, but they have still rules, like on an interstate and international transactions, they still remain illegal under the Federal Wire Act of 1961. So it's like, you could get away with it, but I don't know. I still feel like there needs to be a direct answer. Like you're saying, New York still doesn't legalize gambling, and I don't understand why. If it's like if Jersey's doing it and if all these other places are doing it, why not? Because you're gonna
I
make
don't get
money.
it. I don't get it.
Money's there.
I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand. I know. I don't think that someone is getting greased up enough in their pockets and not getting duped enough. To be quite frank, there's got to be something to that. I know it's so stupid, but because New York, this is a place. Maybe they don't. It's weird. I can't like grasp my mind why they wouldn't. Maybe they don't want more people coming in. But if legit though, if they had one casino, just one, whether it be like Harrah's, Caesar's Palace, or the Bicycle Casino, like just one in the middle of Manhattan, to me, I think it'd be just business as usual. I think Manhattan is not gonna get. It's the same thing. If anybody walk through Manhattan, it's always gonna be fucking busy. It's gonna be like 3 o'clock in the morning. There's still gonna be mad people outside and shit. So it's not like I don't think the crime's gonna go up, as you can see with these other casinos and shit. It's just it is what it is. And if anything, like you alluded to, it brings more business to all the states. So it's just like I don't understand why you would want to do it, and to be like I don't know, I don't get it. And I know in New York they say, wait a minute, what about they do got casinos? They got like those video things, like it's all video shit. I don't believe in that. Like to me personally, I'm not knocking people who play slots or anything, but in terms of like if you want to go play blackjack, you want to play roulette and poker, and you're playing it through the video thing, I don't. To me, I don't buy it. That's because I'm a card player. I play it. I'm a table player. Excuse me. Meaning I play the table games. If I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna play. I'd rather lose to somebody as opposed to the dealer. This is why I don't really play blackjack, and this is why I don't play the video game thing or the internet thing. I did it before. Trust me, when I was young, Poker Stars. You know what I'm saying? All that shit, man. Full Tilt, was the one that Phil Hellmuth had. All that shit, man. All those Doyle's Room, I played them all, man. But it's nothing like playing live, live cards, man. Dude, let me tell you something. Let me ask you a quick question before we get off the segment here, right? You're in the Marines. most people know now by now. If you're listening, if you listen the first time, he sacked, served this country. Was in the Marines, absolutely. And here's the thing: you told me before that you learned how to play poker through the Marines, right?
Yes, that is true. I learned how to play when I was in the service. Yep.
So it's all like gambling there. Like, what's the situation there when it comes out to gambling? Is that like frowned upon, or that's okay? Can you gamble, like play cards for money, or technically you can't do that, and you're like playing, you're on the low, you're playing for money? Like, what's the deal with
On
that?
the low, you're playing for money.
That's right, because technically you can't be gambling and shit. But they absolutely blatantly do it. Obviously, come on, who the
Yeah,
fuck is
it's in
gonna
the
kick a
open.
guy? Right? I mean, here's the thing: if the guy's stationed in fucking Afghanistan and they're playing cards with the boys, during his time off, who's gonna say, "Hey, listen, I'm gonna send you home right now because you're playing the poker and shit for real money"? Balls to that. You know what I mean? Balls to that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Lobo Show. Wipe the coals off your eyes, people. Come on. If you're just eating your breakfast, hopefully, oh, they love us. They say
Your oatmeal.
they love us. Yeah, they love us. They say, they go, "Oh, Lobo Show, we really like." Oh yeah, they want to talk about 10 guys before they talk about us. 10 guys. It's like I don't. That's it. That's it. You know what this is? Look, washing my hands, boys. Washing my hands to those who don't. Like, come on. I love the people that contribute. Thank you, Sarah Olson. You're gorgeous. You're beautiful. Mwah. you know. And we thank everybody that's listening and shit. We'll try to put out a video this week, some UFC. We had Lobo's thoughts on the last segment that we did on the last show. If anybody's still listening this far, that didn't pan out because YouTube gave us a motherfuck you. It's like, oh, you guys again? They give us the old flambeau.
Only us, though. Only
Exactly. Only us. Oh, flambeau. To everybody, yes, that's good. But right now, the French when they do the FU, when they brush your shoulder, their hands across their chin. That's what I'm doing right now. You know what they give to us? The old brajo. And I just did that right now. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you what's not the brajo. And that is the greatest segment in the history of all podcasts. And if you don't think it is, then maybe why don't you come at me, man, or tell me, or chat me, or find me and let me know that it isn't. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm only talking about one segment, obviously, and that is the nightly news with the heap sack.
WINSHD, WWFSHD3, New York. All news, all the time. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is Friday, September 21st, 2018. It is 72 degrees in New York City, and this is the Nightly News with the Sack. FBI, Deep State, dope threatened YouTube attack by the smoking gun. An Oregon man who believed that he was shadow banned from YouTube due to a deep state conspiracy was arrested yesterday for allegedly threatening to shoot employees of the online video giant, according to court records. FBI agents arrested William Douglas, 35 years old, in connection with a recent series of threatening Twitter posts directed at YouTube. In his tweets, Douglas complained that his YouTube channel had been disabled and threatened to kill 100 YouTube employees and cause massive casualties. Claiming that he was a few hours away from the firm's California headquarters, Douglas warned, "If you are just going to ignore me, try ignoring my gun, you fucks," he wrote in an email he sent earlier this month. Douglas, who used the name Liam X Male Revolution X, included links to 3 of his YouTube videos, as described by FBI agent Jeffrey Gray in a court filing. The videos included long rants about the deep state, and Douglas claimed that he was been shadow banned from YouTube, which he describes as a government operation. In some tweets, Douglas appeared to reference a shooting this year at YouTube's California headquarters. In April, a woman who had accused YouTube of blocking her content wounded 3 people before killing herself. Douglas demanded the return of his channel. Investigators arrested Douglas near his home in Cave Junction, a small city in Oregon's southwestern corner. He has been charged with cyberstalking and transmission of threats in interstate commerce to injure another. Douglas, who is being held without bail at the Jackson County lockup, is scheduled to be arraigned on felony counts Monday at the U.S. District Court in Medford.
In Medford? No shit. What the fuck is cyberbullying? Like, there's actual charges for
Oh
that
yeah.
shit?
Oh yeah.
Ugh. All right. Here's the thing, right, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are listening this far, you can't say anything about YouTube anymore. I think this might get they flagged us probably like these Lobos guys. Who is this guy? A Catholic and a Jew. What the fuck, right? But I'm just saying though, like but yeah, you can't say anything about that. And here's the thing, man. Like, what the fuck is going on with these people? They're getting really psycho. I get it. Listen, buddy, they're probably not shadow banning you. And trust me, I am the last guy to defend YTube. Last guy, right? Last guy to defend them because they fucking shut us down 3 fucking times. You know what's so funny? I'm not gonna lie to you. People will go, it's like, yo, Lobos, you always keep saying that you got shut down once. It is true. We got shut down like 3 times. Remember that? When we got shut down, we put like 2 times. We try to put channels up, put like 2 videos up, and then they shut us down and shut us down again. They told us, like, yo, dude, you guys are like banned like that, the name of it, right? So I was like, all right, we waited a couple of months, we're back now. Do you listen? But here's the thing, this is why we don't monetize, because when they start listening to shit like this is when they go fucking thumbs down, fuck these guys, right? But I think that if people loses their shit for this, nah, fuck that. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, people are like, oh, I'm gonna go fucking kill people, or I'm gonna go fucking hurt people, or like, nah, that's not the way to go about it, man.
Over the
No.
shadow banding? Yeah, I mean, I just found out what it actually
What is shadow?
it's
Here's the thing,
just
right? Hold on.
crazy to me.
Let me say this. Hold on. Like the shadow banning, right? Obviously, people like Alex Jones and a lot of these other people who are saying this. He's like, what is obviously all our YouTube people that are listening to this? There are a lot of YouTube people that listen to this again, so they know already. But for the people who don't know, why don't you explain to them what shadow banning is?
Well, shadow banning is the act of blocking or partially blocking a user of their content from an online community such that it will not be readily available to the user, basically banning them in a weird way. Like their videos won't show up in like the search, the keywords, you won't be able to get on people's suggestions,
Sure.
recommendations. And it's like, doesn't that kind of like that's their responsibility. That's their platform in a weird way.
It's
Like
weird.
you,
Like, yeah, they can make up
yeah,
their own rules. They can make it. It's their house.
sure,
They make the
yeah,
rules.
yeah.
But it sucks because dude, like it's unfortunate. And here's the thing,
It's
right?
not fair.
No, and you know what? I'm gonna tell you this right now, right? I know like a lot like guys like me, like small YouTubers and shit. They're like, oh, they shadow ban me, and a lot of people go, that's bullshit. That's not true. They only no. That's I'm telling you this right now, to be honest, and this is not to sound like a crazy conspiracy guy, but they shadow ban the small channels, dude. That's who they do it to. Like, yeah, you're right. So
Way more often.
yeah, absolutely. So if you're a small channel in some way, you feel like they shadow banned you in any way, they probably did. And I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. And like I said, one thing about the Lobo show, you can make your own interpretation. You want to call me an asshole and a liar? Do so. You want to dislike my videos? Do so. But don't be a fucking bitch, like some closet bitch. Like, yeah. Here's the thing, right? If you comment or if you said good things about me and you don't like me, then say it. Then say it on a comment or say whatever. Listen, or make a video like, listen, you know what, that Lobo, he's a real asshole. I thought he was alright, but he's not alright no more. He's a piece of shit. To me, that's more balls than literally saying that you're a fucking, oh, it's all good. Then you don't want to say nothing at all. You just fucking disappear and shit because we already know what your true heart is. Like I said, G, when it comes down to this internet shit and all of that shit, I'm fucking Lobo, man. You can ask anybody down Mulberry Street who Lobo in the sack is, huh? Let's move on, bruh.
In other news, Sharky's strip club loses liquor license after agents buy drugs, lap dances with food stamps by ABC News. Sharky's Lounge in Harrison Township is losing its liquor license at the end of the business day today. The Ohio Liquor Control Commission revoked the Adult Entertainment Club's license, according to the Ohio Investigation Unit. Agents with the Ohio Investigation Unit had begun investigating 2250 Incorporated, which is also known as Sharky's Inn, May of 2017. During the investigation, agents said that they were able to buy drugs and lap dances by using food stamps. During the 5-month-long investigation, agents exchanged more than $2,000 worth of food stamps to buy heroin, fentanyl, carfentanil, cocaine, methamphetamines, and lap dances. Criminal charges were filed against employees and Patreons for drug trafficking, food stamp trafficking, shipment and distribution of heroin, engaging in a pattern of corruption and illegal sexual activity. This is the second adult entertainment club that has had its liquor permit revoked as a result of the investigation by the Ohio Investigation Unit. The other was Harm, which is also located on North Dixie Drive. The Harm's liquor license was revoked in May of 2018.
Man, that's some fucking straight up hood shit right there.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
goddamn, like you know what I'm saying? Like, goddamn, they fucking like food stamps and shit. Shit, if I don't know that, I've been trading food stamps too for a couple of lap dances. I don't know.
Tell
You
me
know what I
about
mean?
it. Yeah.
Like that's the fucking case. Like, geez, like first of all, I don't know how they do it now because food stamps now. Trust me, I'm hip to the game. I know what the fuck is going on in the
It's
hood, bro.
typically a card now. You get
Yeah,
an
it's a
EBT
card.
card.
Yeah, it's an
Yeah,
ABT
so I
card.
don't know
What the
how
fuck are they
yeah.
talking about? Physical food
I don't
stamps?
know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I think they had? I think they had like that cat, like the machine. Like they probably had the like swipe machine,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
they cash it out. And you know how it is in the hood, right? And I'm not blowing up anything because we already know what time it is, G. Like, oh, in the hood, you go in there and then like they probably take like 50% of your shit. So if you got like a car for like 300, they're probably like, yo, we'll give you $150 in cash, but you gotta give us the whole 300. And the motherfuckers do that shit. They'll do it. I'm telling you right now, I see 50% shit going down all the time. They do it for the straight cash, and you know what time it is. You know, so maybe they were doing that type of shit. But for even to let that go down in an establishment like that, only in Ohio, my friend. Because I tell you this, I saw this like top 10 list one time, right? And it was like the worst strippers in America. And they said, I think Ohio was number one, man. They had like girls got
Really?
bullet wounds. Yeah, but girls got like bullet wounds and big flabs in their stomach, and not for nothing. You know what I mean? I heard like you know, Flint was number two. But listen though, Ohio, it's pretty bad over there. You know what? Ohio ain't what it used to be, you know? It's like a lot of states out there in this day and age. It's not what it used to be. Like, you know, this fucking Merle Haggard talks about, remember Okie from Muskogee, you know, Oklahoma and everything?
Forget.
Yeah, sure. They don't wear like beads and Roman sandals, you know, and they still wave old glory at the courthouse. You know what I said? Yeah, but look at them now. Now they're the number one people who's addicted to opiates and shit and crystal meth. You know what I mean? So this one thing in terms of people, the states and tradition and shit, that's out the fucking window. I could tell you that right fucking now. You know what I mean? When it comes down to that. But let me say this: that food stamps for strippers and all that shit. It's like, yeah, you know, sometimes you have to kind of grin at that and go, yeah, it's still America. Let's move on, Sack.
In other news, mother arrested for taking phone away from teenage daughter by Fox News. A Michigan mother arrested after stealing her teen daughter's cell phone as a form of discipline has been vindicated. The Ottawa County prosecutor dismissed the charges against the woman on Tuesday. However, there are questions as to why she was arrested in the first place. I would like answers on why it got so far and how it got this far. Where this happened within my home, I'm disciplining my child. Then I'm being the one handcuffed, Jody May told the news. May was nursing her 4-week-old baby the day before Mother's Day when a deputy knocked on her door, telling her she'd be arrested on a misdemeanor theft charge. He told me that he was going to arrest me, and I asked him if I could turn myself in on that Monday by myself, that I had a new baby. She wasn't taking the bottle yet, she said. Her proposals weren't granted. She was arrested and taken to a holding cell before being released 2 hours later on a $200 bond. May told the news that she took her 15-year-old daughter's iPhone 6 away in April after she got in trouble at school. However, Ron Furtz, the prosecutor, said that the mom never told original deputies that she had taken the phone away to punish her daughter. In fact, it was never mentioned in the original report. The mom, though, claims she did tell the deputy. May's ex-husband, who reported the alleged theft, told deputies that he owned the phone, but the mom says the phone was a Christmas gift from her ex-husband to her daughter. I believe the prosecutor knew the whole time. It was just an easy question to have answered, May said. Just a few short minutes into the trial, the assistant prosecutor announced it was indeed the daughter's phone, so the case was dismissed, and
Oh
May
my
left the
God.
courthouse with
That's
a
so
clean record.
fucking. Oh my God! You know, such bullshit that like nowadays is like really. It's like I don't. The kids take their fucking parents to court now and they win. It's like what the fuck is going on here in this fucking day and age? Seriously, like oh, you take my phone away, mom. I'm gonna take you to the Supreme Court, and not only that, I'm gonna win and totally embarrass you, and you're gonna have to pay like reparation. It's fucking ridiculous, man. I mean, come on, what the fuck is going on here? You see these fucking new phones they got going on, iPhone X and iPhone.
They just released a new
balls.
one today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
iPhone balls. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Oh, this one's got this kind of resolution. It's a camera. It's a camera, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you something. I'm not a big fan of those fucking the watches they got, like the iWatch, but those are way more better than the phones. The phones, I swear to Christ, they're fucking nothing but glorified cameras. That's all they are. What that phone can't, it does the same thing in terms of internet and all that bullshit anything else does. And who truly does like, really fax documents through their iPhone? I know people do. Trust me, but that's not the true best way to go about it. There's other venues, like obviously you could use your Apple, your laptop or your tablet, whatever. Those would probably be better sources than your actual phone. But no matter what, when it comes down to it, they're glorified cameras, man. If you look at their advertisement and all their advertising, mostly, obviously, the big screen, and second of all is the fucking cameras. It's the cameras. Like, oh, look at this camera. If you buy this one that's like $200 cheaper, you won't get as much as the resolution you would get at the second camera. Get the fuck out of here with that shit, man. Seriously, dude. And like I said, with the mother and the cell phone and all of that, it just goes to show, in my personal opinion, parenting is dead. Parenting is dead, ladies and gentlemen. I dare you to yell at your kids. I dare you to grab a belt, or I double dog dare you to grab a switch from the goddamn tree and hit your kid. Oh my God, he's gonna call.
Days.
Oh well, yeah. Listen, let me tell you, he's gonna call the lawyer. He's gonna call. I know people like, well, it's not like that, mate. Oh well, I get. Listen,
he's
maybe
call Sam Rosenberg.
Yeah, maybe he's not in America. Like I said, I can only speak in behalf of America, and I'm not saying that in terms of like, oh, because we're better. No, I'm trying to tell you, no, it's shit out. It's shit out here. It's that kind of shit that's so liberal out here, where it's like, dude, if you fucking you slap your kid on the wrist. You hit him, like I said, back then we did that. I know it sounds cruel. Like, why would anybody take a branch off their kid and whip them with them? Oh, then you must have not known Raheem. You must have not known Raheem from 16th Street. Jesus Christ. That kid would just throw a rock at a window. He'd just throw a rock at a baby's head. You know what I mean? So he didn't deserve a beating. Oh, that guy didn't deserve a fucking beating. Oh, Jesus Christ. What the fuck happened to that shit? iPhones and fucking phones and you know what I blame the parent thing, you know why? Because these fucking parents nowadays, they just stick a fucking like a tablet in the kid. They go, oh, there he is. This is the way he sets them up. And the kid's fucking them with the tablet 8 hours a fucking day, and they wonder why he's a fucking stonehead. You know what I mean? A blockhead, if you will, Sank. Jesus Christ. I know they go.
Agree.
You know what? And here's the thing, right? If you go, you gotta know, why don't you let somebody else talk? Oh, man, yeah, Sack, right? Don't you agree or what? Are these people not? These kids are not blockheads. These parents, they stick a fucking tablet in front of their kids. Let me tell you something. I wish my fucking parents stuck a tablet in front of me. I didn't have to. You know what I had to do? I had to deal with their bullshit out of here. They're arguing out of here. Everything else. There was no tablets and shit. And God forbid we played video games during the weekdays. We was like, oh, if you play video games, in my family, after you come home from school, you got to do your homework. And then after your homework was your leisure time. Your leisure time was television, but you couldn't play video games because you had to play video games for the weekends. But to me, though, that was parenting, though. That was fucking parenting. Did I like it? No. And I acknowledge my friends who were like very free. They had single parents. They had moms. They were out there till 11 o'clock at night. They were fucking around. Who knows this and that. Well, I was a disciplined kid. Well, you make your own judgment of who turned out better. Let's move on, Sack.
And finally, 71 years ago today, Stephen Edward King was born. Famous American author of horror, supernatural fiction, suspense, science fiction, and fantasy. His books have sold more than 350 million copies, many of which have been adapted into feature films, miniseries, television series, and comic books. King has published 58 novels, including 7 under the pen name Richard Bachman, and 6 non fiction books. He has written around 200 short stories, most of which have been published in book collections. And ironically, H.G. Wells was born 152 years ago today. For those of you that don't know, he was an English writer, very prolific in many genres, writing dozens of novels, short stories, and works of social commentary, satire, biography, and autobiography, including even two books on war games. He is now best remembered for his science fiction novels and is often called the father of science fiction. He wrote the classic War of the Worlds.
One time, Stephen King, one of the greatest authors of all time. Absolutely, man. Like, to me, I feel like, and maybe I could be absolutely wrong, but I feel like in this day and age, man, like the great authors, like like the great authors who made like thrillers and great novels are kind of a dying breed right now. You know, you hear about all these Instagram people, you hear about everybody like that's doing all these YouTube shit, live streaming and all that, but you don't hear about the great authors in this day and age. And god damn it, who the hell doesn't like Stephen King? Stephen King was fucking absolutely amazing. And when it comes down to like you see mentioned H.G. Wells, that was fucking amazing. H.G. Wells, man, Orson Welles, you know, who broadcasted that whole the War of the Worlds on radio, and he put people in a frenzy with the Martians are coming, the Martians are coming. It's the first, you know, the first fake fucking news ever in history, you know, and that was fucking amazing and shit. That was great shit. But you want to talk about Stephen King, though? I'm not gonna lie, though, man. I know people can talk about a lot of Robert Ludlum. They can talk about Patterson or whatever, man. But I mean, come on. Like Stephen King was absolutely phenomenal, man. And I mean, come on, Zach. I know you're a Stephen King guy in terms of his body of work. I mean, we can go on and on.
Wow, it's amazing. Yeah. Yeah, he did The Shining, he did It, Carrie, Pet Cemetery, Christine. And you know, for the alias he used Richard Bachman, I found a list of
Sure.
you,
Well,
yeah,
no, I know he did. I just want to say one thing, right? And you probably got the list. Like I said, dude, I'm telling you right now, I don't even know what you're gonna say, but I'm gonna say this. Most people don't know that this is a movie, right? It was called The Running Man from Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Stephen King wrote that movie. No, he actually wrote the book. Excuse me, he wrote the book of The Running Man, and he was under that alias Bachman, right? And he wrote it. But the thing is, though, one thing about and to me, The Running Man, the movie was awesome as fuck. I love Schwarzenegger, dude. My favorite Schwarzenegger movie was Red Heat all day. But that movie, Running Man, was fucking great as fuck, right? And this guy, Stephen King, he hated that fucking movie. In fact, Stephen King hated practically every fucking movie that they made it in a book. He hated The Shining. And by the way, The Shining was a fucking genius fucking movie. Jack Nicholson. You know what I mean?
I love
Great
it.
shit. Absolutely,
Yeah,
dude.
a lot of
But
cool
you know what though?
scenes.
Believe it or not, Stephen King hated it. He disliked Christine. He disliked a lot of movies that were very popular. Now, Stephen King, he directed Maximum Overdrive. Cat's Eye, I believe. I think he directed that movie. Like, don't get me wrong, he did a lot of good shit that he directed. Cat's Eye was fucking great. I remember anybody don't remember that shit. That's completely throwback, classic, great storytelling and shit. But man, the guy was a great author, man. But he didn't like the, like I said, there was a lot of movies like Lawnmower Man. There was like a lot of movies that there was a lot of conspiracy shit to it where he disliked it, and it was like he always felt like the guys that made his movies kind of fucked him over. He was very particular in terms of what he wanted and shit, you know. So, like I said, that Richard Bachman character in terms of Stephen King is, I think, is very interesting. Like, what were like in most people didn't know this. He revealed this to later. He revealed later that he was Richard Bachman. And what were some of the books that he came out with, or stories that he came out with under Richard Bachman? Zach?
Well, under the name Richard Bachman, he came out with Rage, The Long Walk, Roadwork, as you mentioned, The Running Man, Thinner, which is one of my favorite movies.
I love that movie. I love that fucking movie.
The Regulators
Twisted.
and Blaze.
Right.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question really quick. What's your favorite Stephen King feature film, if you had to pick one?
Well, To me, absolutely, it has to be Christine. I love Christine, man, and it's a movie. I'm telling you right now. I think they made a remake to that, but if you watch the original Christine, and they had like Artie and shit, and he was like a nerd, and he was like, he was like, "There's nothing better than that." Well, maybe except pussy, because the old guy told him that in the fucking junkyard. That's a great fucking movie. It was very well written. I don't know, and it's maybe it's a movie that I think to me that holds up, but I don't think like I don't know. There's some people that can watch it and go, no thanks. Maybe it's
Yeah,
not for them.
yeah.
What about you though? What would you say it's your favorite?
I mean, I might get some shade for this one, but I love this movie called The Langoliers. Sci-Fi did a mini series on it.
What?
It
I never
was
heard of it.
yeah, it was a two-part, 3 hour, and so the movie was a total of 6 hours, and it was so amazing. It's basically like wormhole or something, and everybody vanishes in the airplane, but these six people, and they land, and they there's nothing there. There's no like even the air is weird, and they got to find a way to get back up in the sky and get through this like black hole to get back to like our time. It's just a very like it makes you think. It really makes you think. I like movies like that.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like that's what Stephen King did at best. Absolutely. Shout out to Stephen King's H.G. Wells, man, and the great authors out there that created great books. I know it's a dying breed, and I know people go, "Oh, listen, I can listen to the one like what I do? I can listen.
Audiobooks.
I can listen to audiobooks. Come on, man. To me, that's so boring. People say, oh, reading a book is boring. I don't think so. I think reading a book is more interesting than listening to an audio, right? But then again, people say that's why I can't listen to the Lobo show. Oh no, we got the new guy in here. Waving his hand. They got a new guy in here. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been paying attention. No, HR got my side. Lobos is not fired because I was right in all the right reasons. So, the brass knows who's got the fucking string around here. You know what I'm talking about? So, ladies and gentlemen, Heave Sack, they're waving you off. I think I have to see you another time here. Don't worry, we'll record another third segment another day. But, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, that was your weekly dosage of the nightly news with the Heave Sack. Cheers, folks. Hilton. Living in his helicopter, so with glory. Probably making $20,000 a year more than I am, but Lobo Show, segment number 3. It's Lobo. It's Heave Sack. What else is fucking new? We're over here kicking the fucking bullshit, having a fucking couple of drinks. AC is looking pretty right tonight. What else is new? Ladies and gentlemen, Heave Sack. I don't know, man. What do you got going on this week here, Sack?
Well, I'm gonna be meeting up with some people, and we're gonna be doing some things. We're gonna be making some bagels. Yeah,
Bagels?
homemade bagels.
Homemade. Oh yeah. Hold on. Wait a minute. Homemade. What is that? Like code word for like getting some tang, banging a couple of broadsouls. You know what I'm talking about? What are you talking about? Homemade bagels. Come on, Sack. I worry about you sometimes. What do you mean? What is that about? Who's us? What is some bras that's wearing? Come on. What are going on here?
Well, no, I mean, I'm having a couple people come over, from the community, and we're gonna, I mean, it's just something that I like to do, typically in the fall time because this is kind of like I love, kosher food, and there's
Right.
nothing like bagels. So yeah.
Right. So what's your favorite kosher food, man? You had to pick one.
My favorite?
Yeah.
Well, it would have to be between homemade potato pancakes or a nice bagel and salmon.
Oh, but bacon and salmon, potato pancakes. Come on, man. Those things don't got fucking taste. They're a little dry, if you ask me, man. I mean, here's the thing. I know
Well, you're not making them the right way. You got to come
right,
over.
right. All right. I guess
Come
I'll
over
try.
this weekend. Like if you don't got anything doing, come over. I
Nah,
mean, you
I
don't
told
come
you.
over. Yeah, okay.
I don't come here enough. I know. I understand what
I
I'm
know.
trying to tell you, man. I know. Here's the thing, right? I don't think that being polite when you're eating something you don't like. I don't think that's wrong. If you eat something, you go, ugh, I don't like this. People go, oh, you can't say that. You know, I
Yeah.
don't. It's like, come on. There's a lot of people out there that eat fucking like squid and all this bullshit they put on your plate.
Rats.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you
Ugh.
never know. Like all type of cultures. Just listen, every culture is great and everything. Don't get me fucking wrong. But when you start putting that fucking food on your plate and shit, that's like, oh, and then if you say something, like, I don't want any of that. Like, I'm sorry. And they go, oh, then that's disrespectful or you're uncultured. Oh, I'm uncultured for not wanting to eat a fucking grasshopper and a stick. And let me tell you something, Sack. I'm not saying that's what you're offering. I'm not saying that. But it's just like, I'm just so, I guess I'm so prejudiced when it comes down to the food that I've been eating and what I'm used to, that I kind of like, I'm not a big fan of other cultures' food, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I definitely noticed that. Like you definitely don't like seafood, which I love seafood. I mean, I don't eat it every day because it's not good for you. But if I could, I would. But I know you don't like it. Even going, like you're a steak and potatoes type of guy, and I
Absolutely.
understand that.
Absolutely.
So
100%. And which, don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean I'm going to live to be 80. You know what I mean? That's not a
yeah.
healthy thing to say, even though I'm not a fucking fat fuck. But I'm just trying to say, though, but still, though, like, come on, look at Brock
But
Lesnar.
there's
That's all.
nothing
That's
wrong.
all.
Yeah, with steak and potatoes. I mean, this is the way I
Yeah.
look at it, right? It's like sometimes there's nothing wrong with a Big Mac. You know what I mean? Sometimes a Big Mac is just pretty
Well,
good. I
listen,
know you don't like McDonald's, but I
yeah,
do.
exactly. I won't say a big man. I'll say this. There's nothing like there's nothing bad about grilling a burger on your grill. You know?
Yes.
Like, yeah, I mean, like a
Old-fashioned
smoked beef.
hamburger.
Yeah, 100%. But nah, Big Mac and all that shit. Sodas, nah, fuck all that shit. Don't do that. I'm trying to say, like, but fuck a Big Mac. Like, whatever, man. I'm talking like, if you're grilling a
Chicken
burger,
nuggets. Yeah.
no, dude, chicken nuggets. Fuck
Come
that. What do
on, you don't like chicken nuggets?
No, that's
Oh
just like,
my
dude.
God.
I think that
Well,
if
you're
you're
missing out.
let me tell you something. I think that listen, G, hold on. Let me tell you something. If you're like, I know I'm gonna lose people right now. I swear, there's people that don't understand. I guess this is a New York or Eastern thing, a Northeastern thing, right? But if you're eating chicken nuggets at fucking 30 years old, you know what I mean? Like, come on, that's like a kid's fucking food. Here's the thing. Maybe you're eating like, oh, you bought some kid. Listen, there's different scenarios to things. Oh, you bought the kid some foods. You ate some of this chicken nuggets. You're hungry, right? But I'm trying to say, if you're an adult, right, and you're like, I'm so hungry. I got money in my pocket. I'm about to order me some chicken nuggets. Then you're a fucking come on. You're an idiot. So see, that's what I mean. See,
I mean, it's a really good
no,
deal.
hold
You get
on,
a 15
hold on.
Okay, all right.
Okay. No, go on, please. Tell me.
I mean, you can get a 15 piece for a really good deal. Now, I do understand that it is a little immature and it's a little like,
yeah,
come
when
on,
you get older, let me tell you something. You have to be
but it's
conscious.
a good deal.
You have to be conscious what you put in your body. Listen, I'm saying, don't get me wrong. When you buying a family thing, is a bunch of people over, and you eat this. I understand that you got to eat whatever. That's one thing. But if you're legit, like I said, if it's on your lunch break, right? You got an hour lunch break. You got $20 in your pocket. You go anywhere you want to eat, right? You're gonna get 15
I'm going
pieces.
to Mickey D's.
You're gonna get 15
Oh, yeah.
piece chicken nuggets and fries.
Oh, yeah.
In
Oh,
this
yeah.
fucking day and age, where you know all the health risks.
With
Come
the Mountain
on.
Dew. With the
Come
large
on,
Mountain
yeah.
Dew.
Listen, here's the. I know people are like he sack. All right. I guess whatever, man. I can't listen. To be honest, I can't eat that much. If it's one thing, if it was dinner, that's one thing. But for lunch, I can't be that full. Like for oh god, you're gonna be taking a shit in the middle of your shift and shit. You know, like hey, where's Heap Sack? And you know how it is at work. You can't take a shit at work. Then everybody's gonna know. Like oh, Heap Sack's over here taking a dump. You know how it is. That's man's culture. When you go taking a dump, it's like all right, you can do it, but if you're gonna do it, everybody knows you're doing it, and they're gonna call you out on it.
It's frowned upon.
It's well, no, it's not. No, women think like see, women don't even talk about it when they talking about taking dumps, right? Women don't even talk about it, but men, we go like, hey, we'll talk about it, but it's a joke. Like guys will like get next to each other on the stalls and taking a dump and talk to each other. And I've seen it. Like, dude, I told you I worked in New York City. You got a fucking bathroom, you get guys talking next to you, like, oh yeah, so this deal and that deal. They're taking dumps right next to each other, right? I don't do that shit. I don't take shits at work. I'll tell you that. But I'll tell you this: like people that do it, it's like it's whatever. But women don't do that shit. You don't see. At least I don't know. I don't know women taking dumps next to each other. Oh yeah, and that guy and this guy, and this thing, whatever, What would I know, right?
Yeah. No, it's true. Yeah.
What would I know, Sack? Hold on. You know what? What are we doing tonight?
Well, we could go down to the bodega and see what's going on.
That's true. I'm not gonna lie. Lately, they got me having some nice dice games over there. I want to say a couple of things before we wrap this up because it's going to be different in terms of the audio. It's a little smooth and everything. One last time, I cannot stress this enough. I want to really thank Sarah Olsen. That's Saraolsen. Sarah Olsen. She's beautiful. She's great. She's from London. She's Brazilian. Her voice is gorgeous. You know, you know what that means. She don't want nothing to do with me. She's like, oh, Lobos. I think this is her way to say, you know what I mean? And this other minimalism. They want to. Oh, I threw out Lobo now. Okay, but we'll see, right? But I really, dig her music. I appreciate anybody who wants to show 1% interest of our channel and what we do. I promise you, it'll be 99% more back on your end, especially, you know, for giving us a little piece of joy here with this audio that you sent us. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Lobo Show, and I am Lobo. This is my producer, Heapsack. Heapsack, you got anything else to say?
No, sir.
I want to say one last thing. I want to play Johnny Cash, Home of the Blues, but it's Sarah Olsen's rendition. I want to play it in its entirety. I want to thank her and everybody else who's listening. I want to bid you a fair good night. Say good night, Heapsack.
Good night, Heapsack.
Just around the corner, that is heartache. Down the street, that losers use. If you can wade in through the teardrops, you find me at the home of the blues. I walk and I cry while my heart beats, keeps time with the track of my shoes. The sun never shines through this window of mine. It's dark at the home of the blues. Oh, but the place is filled with the sweetest memories. Memories so sweet I wanna cry. Dreams that I've had left me feeling so bad. I just wanna give up, lay down and die. So if you just lost your sweetheart and it seems there's no good way to choose, come along with me, misery lovers company. You're welcome at the home of the blues. You're welcome at the home of the blues. Just around the corner, that is heartache. Down the street, that losers use. If you can wade in through the teardrops, my friend, you find me at the home of the blues. You find me at the home of the blues.